music I gave Stefan was just very, very simple. Thank you for making it so beautiful. I mean, yeah. Whew. Take a breath, take a breath. Another level of healing. Time to shift gears. So in the early 1980s, I worked in it's called Heartbeat Figure Salon. It was an exercise place for women. And I taught exercise there. That was the beginning of my wanting to have an exercise business, which I did it later on in the 80s. Ran my own classes and had exercise instructors and did the choreography and had all these locations with people teaching. And it was quite the experience. But one of the women there, I don't remember her name, it's so long ago, but I'll call her Lisa, had quite a bit of weight to lose. She might have had about 100 pounds to lose. And at some point, Lisa decided that it was time, and she was going to take this weight off and really work. And man, she did. She got her diet together. We talked about it. We talked about what that journey was like, how to discipline herself around food and exercise. And man, did she work out hard. I mean, she was in class 5-6 days a week, really working out hard. And over about a 9-10 month period, she dropped about 75-80 pounds and was really just feeling fantastic. I mean, she hadn't been, that size probably since she was a little girl. And she was probably in her late 30s, early 40s at the time. So this was a huge, huge accomplishment for her. And it was like she didn't just shed pounds, she shed a lot of the weight of the world, things she had been carrying. This was also a very emotional journey for her. And, but she just brightened. I mean, she got her hair cut. I think she got highlights and things like that. She started to dress a little bit different because nothing she had in her closet fit her anymore. Nothing. And so she started dressing differently and she wanted to go out in the world more because she was very, held everything close in before, carrying this weight. So again, it was more than just pounds. There was the weight of so many other things that she carried. And some of that she shed in that time as the pounds came off. And she just blossomed, absolutely blossomed. It was amazing to watch. And she was an inspiration to so many at the figure salon at that time. Her personality, she was a bright light before, but man, she was just brilliant after that. It was amazing how much personal, mental, probably, and emotional freedom that gave her. Well, not everybody in her life was happy about the changes in her. Her husband, for one, got very, very uncomfortable, and she came to me a few times and we talked about it. And he didn't want her going out with her friends anymore. He got very, very insecure about their relationship. And he started to bring home pizza every night and pies and ice cream. And everything that she ever enjoyed eating, he started bringing home. And he was getting emotionally unhinged. And he was often angry with her because, his insecurities now are in his face. He's thinking, as long as his wife was carrying this weight, that nobody was paying attention to her. Nobody was paying attention to her. And she also was not out in the world like she was before. She was different. And she was probably attracting attention. She certainly was attracting it at the spa amongst her friends and the people who were supporting her. So I imagine she was attracting attention out in the world as well. Well, he couldn't handle it, and they had been married probably for about 15 years or so. And the marriage just got so uncomfortable. She started giving in to the food and to the anxiety and to the pain and everything that was happening then in her marriage. And she gained all that weight back and then some. And you could see her emotionally and mentally contract as she took those pounds back on. Chiefly, and she told me herself, she said, my marriage won't last if I stay small. My marriage won't last. I have to take it back on, or I'll lose my family. So she gained the weight back. And you could see the pain in her face and how she carried herself. Her shoulders became slumped again. It was a total regression, if not, in fact, I think she went even further back than she was before. So she had lost 75, 80 pounds. She probably gained 90 or 100 back. But things were quieter at home then. Things were quieter at home. She's been in my thoughts all week. And this happened 40-some years ago. 40-some years ago. But I think about, the changes that we want to make on the outside of our lives. And know that those changes are not sustainable if we don't also have a change in consciousness. You have to have a change in consciousness in order for something to be lasting, for that change to come down to us, down to our root. Our thinking, our heart, our minds, our spirits, everything has to change with the outside world. That's why lottery winners go broke in a number of years. So what do we have to do? Sometimes we want major change in our lives. Sometimes we want to take major steps, whether it's for our health, for our relationship, for our job, whatever it is. Sometimes we want the outer world to change. We talk about that all the time, that we have dominion over our thoughts, words, and actions, and that we can affect great change in our lives. We can. We've seen it happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to many of you. And we know that we can make that great change and then we fall back. And then we make the change again and we fall back. I remember working in that health spa and talking to many of those clients, and I did personal training for a number of years, and then when I was running classes and I had all these clients, everybody talked about that they probably had 6 different sizes worth of clothes in their closets so that they could, when you gain a little bit weight, then you have a size, when you lose it, you go back and you can still have clothes to wear. Weight Watchers, they tell you at some point when you get to your goal weight, get rid of the clothes that are not your size anymore. Because as long as they're hanging in there, you have something to go back to. You have to burn the bridge. Burn the bridge. And so much of the work in Weight Watchers is about what's in your mind. And that's why they get together and have these meetings so you can talk about what's going on. So you talk about what the struggle is. You talk about the habits you're trying to enforce in your life and trying to step into and to keep up with so that you can make lasting change. And that's why people get together and support each other. This is not a commercial. But there's a reason why it's one of the most successful programs around weight loss. First of all, because it's slow change. And if you're going to have change, if it's slower, then the mind has time to catch up what's happening on the outside. Because it needs to be a thoughtful process. As Marianne Williamson wrote in Everyday Grace, we have to spend that time with the Holy of Holies, spend time in that quiet time so that we can hear and know what we are, what's happening, process things, what needs to be healed along this journey of change, what needs to be healed, what needs to be healed. And then in the process of the change, start the healing. Do the work. Do the work. Look at the things that might have been the impetus for whatever it is you're trying to change. What was the hurt? What was the wound that we need to look at? So that we can heal that as the outer change is happening. And then when you get to the outer change, your mind isn't screaming, oh crap, what do I do with this now? I got this brand new body. I don't know, my husband's not happy, nobody's happy. Now some of my friends don't want to talk to me because they're jealous. What do I do? Who am I at this? Do I run back so that my world can be more comfortable? Or, like we talked about last week, be able to stand in our own two shoes and say, this is who and what I am right now, and it is more than just what the outer life is telling people. That there is major change inside in our consciousness, in our thinking, in our mindset for our paradigm about who and what we are. And then that matches what's happening on the outside. Change has to happen on the inside, has to come from there first for it to be lasting in the outer world, in the manifest world. Myrtle Fillmore, one of Unity's co-founders, talks about that all the time. She healed herself of sickness, but she says she only did it through intense mental work. And intense is the word she uses. And she was persistent about that. It took her years to make her body healthy. She was a frail, sickly little girl who was kept in the house. She had TB. And in those days, that was a death sentence for most people, the early 1900s. She healed herself through intense mind activity. Intense mind activity. She did the work. She spent time in the quiet place with the Holy of Holies and knew herself as a child of God who does not inherit sickness. That's what turned her on. When she heard that in somebody's talk, she said, oh, I don't have to be sick. And it stops here. And where it stopped first, she didn't get healed right then and there, but it stopped in her mind. And because she had been sick for so many years, she had to retrain her mind to know herself as well, even as her body continued to show something different. So the work has to happen up here before you see something happening in the outer. And that's the intense work. Because you have to go against all the evidence in the physical world That's usually what convinces us what is truth. This is the truth of my situation. I look at my bank account, I'm broke. There's a comedian, I forget her last name, Leslie. Anyway, she said somebody told her, you are not broke. Broke is a state of mind. You might not have money in the bank, but you are not broke. Stop walking around saying you're broke. You have talent and you have a gift that makes you rich. Go use your gift. Stop saying you're broke. Stop saying you're broke. Stop saying you're sick. Stop saying you're not loved. You've got to affirm something different than what's happening in the outer world. That's the work. That's the work. You got to be able to see it and feel it. See it and feel it. And you have to start living in that in your head. She had to start imagining what life would feel like well, even as she's feeling like crap. She had to be thankful for wellness way before she felt good. And that's hard. I've tried it. There are days I've been sick in bed and I wanted to be well, I wanted to feel better, and I'm laying in bed, covers up to here, feeling all pitiful, and trying to imagine what would I be doing right now if I felt better. And I'm getting better and better at that. But what I'm noticing is I'm sick less often. Because I've got this mindset now that I am well and well all the time. So when I start to feel a little bit like something's starting to come on, and that's been happening the last couple of weeks, I make myself do something I would do when I'm well. So I might not do my usual workout, but I do a little bit of workout because that makes me feel strong. And then I tell my body, this is who we are. This is what we do. I didn't feel like that before I started. I had to talk myself into that. That mindset. That mindset is so important. That's why consciousness matters. And then we have to know that the back of your smallest act is the strength of the universe. That thing, that mantra we said 3 times. You have to know that every single thing that you want to do has got the universe behind it. As soon as you claim it, as soon as you say that's what you want, as soon as you clue into that and work with it in your mind and start seeing and feeling what it is you want to bring into the outer world, the universe says, uh-oh, get in line. She's doing something. She's doing something. He's doing something. Bring everything to bear right here. Right here. She's asking for something. She's determined. She said she wants to feel better, and stuff starts happening. Your body's listening to you. Your DNA is listening to you. Every cell of your body is listening to you, responding to your words.
I really love your body.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes. Take care of your body. Love your body. Tell it thank you for allowing me to get through my day with energy, to do all the things I needed to do today. Talk to it nicely. Give it words of affirmation and gratitude, 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 gratitude. Intense mind activity. You got to work on it. You got to work on it. It's not just going to manifest. I mean, at some point you may be so powerful that you can say, oh, feeling this, and then it comes right here. Some people are that powerful. That takes practice. Again, you got to spend time in the silence. How many of us are still making excuses, like she said, in everyday grace, about whether or not you have time to sit in the silence? When every single thing is there in the silence. Every single thing you want is there in the silence. In fact, when you get in the silence, you realize there's nothing you want because you have everything. You have it all. But you find that out in the silence. You find that out. But you got to go there, do the work. Stop saying, I can't, I got monkey mind. Yeah, well, you're human, everybody does. You got 1,000 thoughts, 1 billion thoughts. That's what the mind does, what the brain does, is evaluate the world all the time. But you can train it and say, I'm in charge here. I'm in charge. And as the thoughts go, you just let them go. Just let them go, let them go. And finally, they get fewer, farther between. And at some point, you're like, oh, it's quiet. My head's quiet. My head's quiet. And you feel yourself sink down into that space that is God. We're always in that space, but as long as you got the clatter and the clutter going on, you don't realize it. You don't get to enjoy it. You don't get to hear. You don't get to do that intense mind activity. And it gets less intense. The work is less intense if you're in the practice all the time. What do you want to bring into your outer world? First, you got to construct it here in the consciousness of your mind. The consciousness, body consciousness, everything. Your whole self. Decide what you want. Be thankful for it. Start to see it. We have this wild imagination. Again, that's my word for the year. That's one of your 12 powers to use so that you can build this world of whatever it is you want in your head, build it, see it, feel it, and then it comes into fruition. It shall. It has to. There's no other thing that can happen.
Don't be scared of eating what you want, I think.
Enjoy life. Enjoy food.
Enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when her husband brought pizza, she said, thank you, man, let me have a couple of slices, and I said, you know, don't be scared of it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Jesus ate bread.
Jesus ate carbs. Jesus wasn't on a low carb diet.
He walked everywhere he went.
Yeah, he did.
He was never scared.
Ah, there's the rub. He walked everywhere he went.
That's for sure, man.
Yeah.
Without being fearful of stuff. Thank you, God.
So we got to do the work in our minds, in our consciousness, beyond the rational mind, because the rational mind's got all these reasons why you're broke, you're fat, whatever. You know, can't do it, never did it before, never sang before, never did this before, never was single before, never was married before. Whatever it is, never lived alone, never lived with anyone, whatever that, you know, whatever the circumstance. Never had a house all on one floor before. Whatever it is. Whatever we tell ourselves that we can't do, that we never did, or you've been doing this so long, you can't do anything else. Whatever it is, all that is irrelevant. Because you do get to choose. You do get to choose. And you do get to claim it, and you do get to have it. Divine law says you shall have it. You shall have it. All you have to do is keep your mind on it. And then let it go and say, bring it to me. Whatever I pictured or something better. Or something better. And let the universe work its magic for you. Let the divine work its magic for you.
Yes.
Let it work its magic for you. But you're the key to the magic. You get to turn it on. You get to pull the rabbit out of the hat. Yeah. That's how all rabbits come out of the hat. Presto. Okay, I'm seeing Bullwinkle now. Pull a rabbit out of my hat. Presto. We get to choose. We get to build this life. We have magic. Magic. It's sitting in our minds. And yet we stew in our stuff all the time. Saying, I don't have, it's not possible, it's not this, it's not that, I'm not this, I'm not that. Oh my gosh, let it go. Let it go. It's all an illusion. Or it's a story that you've created over years and years of your life. And then you can decide, I'm done with that story, turn in another page, new chapter. Or you can rip out all the pages beforehand, burn them, and start a new book. Whatever it is you need to do. Just decide. It's as simple as that. And then go to work. But you go to work with the universe behind you, under you, around you, through you. And when you know that, you can't lose. You can't lose.
Just like you said, that, don't live in our world, live in God's world.
Live in God's world. Live in God's world. Just groove with God, just groove with God, just groove with God. Let's take this in a meditation. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. What is it you want? What are you being called to do that you keep shying away from? What is it? Doesn't matter that it's been 40, 50 years you've been thinking about it. Or 40, 50 pounds later. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you've been told. Doesn't matter what the world says. Doesn't matter what you've told yourself as recently as this morning about something in your life that you've been running from. What is it? We all have something because we're still here on this planet, breathing. So there's still something for you to do. Something for you to be, something for you to step into more fully. Perhaps there's somebody in your life you're trying to help feel safe by your not growing. No matter how close that person is to you. Maybe you need to cut the tie either mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically. Only you know what the answer is to that. Perhaps your growth will inspire that person in your life to grow. Maybe you'll grow together, and maybe you won't. But it's all good, because you still need to go where you need to go. Let the universe take care of the rest. So what's one thing you can do in the next few days? Perhaps you need to get in the silence again. Spend time with the Holy of Holies. And let your soul speak to you. Let the universe, let God, the all-good, speak to you again. You are my beloved in whom I am well pleased. You are love and light. And I have a gift for you. For you are my gift. You are my gift. Just breathe and relax, knowing that all things are possible. Look at that thing, that one thing that you've been holding back on. And look at it squarely and say in your heart of hearts, yes, this is possible. Yes, I'm claiming it now. Yes, the work begins. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, everything that I need to bring this to fruition is already inside me. Yes, and thank you for the call into my magnificence. Yes, and thank you for the strength and power to move forward into it. Yes, and thank you for the dominion I have as my birthright to be a light in my own life and a light in the lives of all those with whom I come into contact. Yes, 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 yes. This is happening, and it's happening now. Now is the time. So I spread my wings, and I catch the wind that is God, and I soar. I soar. I soar. Just taking a deep breath. Breathe into it. Breathe life into it. Exhale. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Fill those lungs. Exhale. This is the breath of God, the life of God. Breathe it in again. Hold it a second. Exhale. And rest in that. Relax. Enjoying the picture of the manifestation in your outer life. The picture of victory. The picture of victory. And so it is, and so it shall be.